Hey guys, we're going to do another video today. It's just going to be a short video, but it's going to be part one in a series. And well, let me give you the backstory. I was out cutting firewood yesterday, and I had gotten into a tree that was already cut. It was dead standing, and somebody had already cut it down, and it was a lumber company. So, and they gave me the wood, and got a bunch of pin oak, but one of the logs that was laying down there, and it had only been down for about a week. I saw them cut it down, and I asked them if I could have it, and they gave us all the firewood, me and my dad. And so one of the logs that was down was a big ash log, and it was about 2 foot in diameter, and they had already slabbed it up into some pieces, so I had to be picky and choosy, and I picked out 3 straight chunks out of that ash log. I think one's about 18 inches and one was about 22, and then the one I'm sitting on right now is about 27 inches long, somewhere around there. So the project is that we are going to split these logs up by hand, and we are going to make billets out of it for axe handles, and mostly hatchet handles, and like a boy's axe handle on the 27-inch one, or 20-inch axe handles, you know, whatever we can get out of it. But they're going to be ash, and I live in the eastern woodlands, and we've got that emerald ash borer going through, and it's just killing all the ash trees around here. So I've been trying to save as many chunks of ash that I can use as a handle as I can. Not that ash is the best handle in the world, but it's not a bad wood either. I've heard a lot of people say bad things about ash. Well, it's pretty tough stuff. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to set one of these up, and we're going to mark them out with a pencil, and we're going to go ahead and split out. I might not split up the whole thing up, but I'm going to show you how to split, or try to split, a handle out of some of these. And some of these big ones I'm hoping to get 3, 4, 5 handles out of, you know, just billets. And then part 2 is going to be us carving a handle. It might be more than just 2 parts, but so let me go ahead and get this camera set up somewhere. I'm doing it on my tablet again because it seems to download quicker on my tablet. So I got to get it set up somewhere where you guys can kind of see what I'm doing and the stupid thing won't fall over. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. So I got 3 logs here. I got this log here, and there's a big log right behind me right here. You guys can kind of sitting in front of. And so I started splitting into this log a little bit. I actually already got 2 billets out of it, and you know, a couple pieces of firewood too. Sometimes you just can't avoid it. Now these billets are rough, so the only thing I do is like right here, and you can't see because of the saw cut, but the grain is running almost straight. So what I do is I take my pencil and I just estimate how big I want the end of the axe handle to be, and I go way bigger than I want it to be, and I mark it out. And when you look at it, the grain's going almost straight through this thing, and this is the way your axe will sit too. So that right there will be 1 billet. And then I went turn around and I look down here, and this one's almost straight. It's got a little curve in it, but by the time you make the butt of the axe or the eye of the axe and it's running all the way through, it's almost a perfect. It'll almost be a perfect grained axe too. And so I just mark it out too. And I know you guys can see cracks going across here, but these cracks really only run hopefully an inch or so deep. And if they run deeper than that, then it'll have to either be a shorter handle or it's not going to work at all. But that's just a chance you take when you're doing this. So, you know, since I know that this is going to be another billet, I just mark it out with a pencil. And then up here I got another one too, but this one's a little iffy because it's got a knot up here in the corner of it. But hopefully if I can make my handle down here, that knot will be absolutely gone anyways, and that'll be an okay billet too. And like I said, this log here is only I don't have a tape measure, but I think it's only about 16 inches long. So these are going to be short handles. So they don't have to be perfect handles, but they're going to be pretty dang close. So first thing we're going to do is get this thing set up, and I will probably stick a wedge right in here and split it, and right in here and split it. That way it'll split it into the 3 sections. And if all goes well, we'll end up with 3 billets. If not, you may not end up with 3 billets. It's just a chance you take. I could take a saw and cut through this, but you know, what's the fun in that? Either way, I end up with firewood. So let me get this thing set up and we'll work on it. Okay, for splitting these billets, you only need 2 things. Well, 2 or 3 things. One, a good sledgehammer. You don't want to use the backside of your axe. You'll screw it up. And I use steel wedges. And I don't even know what kind of steel wedges these are. These are probably made by Council Tool or something. I have no idea. But anyways, I know I want my split line to go right through here. So that's where I start the wedge. And at first you just tap it in until you get going good. Watch your fingers, because you miss and you will hit your fingers. And then you start seeing a crack, and then you can really start going down on it. And if you're lucky, your split will follow where you want it to. And if you're not lucky, you'll hit a knot. It won't. But we look pretty good so far. I'm going to shut the camera off. Well, actually, you know what? I'll just back this thing up. I don't want this wedge to pop up and hit my tablet and destroy it. So we're going to back up a little bit. You guys can still see it anyways. Let's try to straighten this thing up a little bit. Got a little bit of a split going, but it's not really where I want it. Yeah. Thing keeps rocking on me. Let me get a little sturdier place to put this thing. Get it to stand up. Maybe stick this chunk of wood under it so it don't rock quite as much. Better. Trying to get this thing to crack exactly where I want it. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. And like I said, it's ash, so it's really hard stuff, and it's dry ash. And I picked dry dead ash because I need some handles now. So this stuff's already seasoned and pretty much ready to go. I can split it off and actually start carving a handle with it right from the beginning, instead of trying to cure it and hopefully it'll dry straight and all that other stuff. Okay, so now we got a good start at it. Let me bring it over here. So, I don't know if you can see this or not, but right here's where our crack is. Right there's our first billet. And then this is our second billet. So we're just cutting right between the 2 corners. Now hopefully it'll split straight down through the middle and we can get 2 good axe handles out of there. At least 2. If the next one splits where we want it, then we'll have 3. Plus I already got 2 out of this one, so 5 axe handles out of this little piece of wood would be pretty good. would be actually really good. Considering, you know, I don't always try to get 5 out of 1, but ash is a premium these days. Okay, so we get a couple more hits on there. You can hear it popping, so it's going. Let's see. A couple more hits, and then we'll put the other wedge in the side of it. Just like that. And we'll lay this puppy down. Find our crack. And put our second wedge in there. And then it comes right apart. When you're doing this splitting, whether you're splitting firewood or whatever it is, you want to carry 2 or 3 wedges with you. 2 or 3 wedges are hard to get stuck. If all you carry is 1 wedge, you're going to be going somewhere to find the second or third one, because you will stick it and you'll never get it out by hand. Having that second one around makes a big difference. And I'm probably still not going to pull this apart, but it's close. And sometimes it just takes a little bit of manpower. And that thing split through there absolutely straight. There's a little curl on this end. We'll see what we got to do with that. We're going to split this off here. This is what we'll do is we'll make another split right here. I'll leave myself some extra stock. Split this corner off, and probably split this corner off, or maybe axe it off when I go to make the handle. But there you go. That's 1 billet out of 1 piece. Now I'll just keep doing this all the way around this whole piece of wood, and I'll probably go ahead and split all 3 of these up, set them in the garage, let them dry a little bit longer. You know, just do what we got to do, and hopefully they'll dry the rest of the way good. Like I said, they're pretty dry already. This has been dead standing for probably 3 years, 4 years, I would say. Most of the bark had fallen off of it, other than in a couple of spots. So, anyways, I just wanted to put this in the video as the beginning of carving an axe handle from scratch. And I'm out of breath. I'm not even out of shape, and I'm out of breath. But anyways, so that's part 1, and I will finish splitting these all up into billets, and then part 2 will be roughing out the handle, and probably part 3 will be finishing it. And we might do a 4th part where I fit it to one of my axe handles, axes heads, because I do have some projects I want to do. I'm kind of splitting these out because I got a couple of the old-fashioned Swedish axes that I'm going to go ahead and make handles for, and I got a couple old Halsbrooks ones, a hewing axe that I need. It's coming up. It's going to be a project axe, and I need to use it on a project too. So we're probably going to end up doing that too, and I might do it on camera. So anyways, that's part 1 of splitting a billet out of a log for an axe handle. Okay guys, I wanted to put this in into the video. I'll probably splice this in somehow, but okay, so I went ahead and I trimmed down the ones that we had split, and as you can see right there's 1 billet, and this one's got a little crack over here at the edge, but it ain't gonna hurt a thing, and some little tiny cracks on the ends, but they only go down about a ½ inch into the wood as far as I can tell. We'll get into that more when we start axing it out into a handle. This is the other billet. It's got a huge knot right here, but I think that we could take this and cut this down right about here. The knot will be gone, and we still got a big enough piece to make. Even if we cut this much out, that's plenty to make a axe handle out of. So that's the other billet that we got out of that same log that we just split up. This is the 3rd one, and it's the same thing. It's got a knot in the middle of it. It's just a little pin knot. Somehow maybe we'll, in the curve of the axe, we might end up missing that knot too. And it's got a little knot at the end, but it'll probably just end up having to be a shorter handle or something, which is fine. And like I said, this pin knot, hopefully in the bend of the handle we can get rid of it. This one here is junk. I thought I'd get a billet out of it. Turns out I did not realize a big old knot right down the inside of that, and it goes right down the middle where we need it. So I'll end up splitting this one more time. It'll be firewood. And then we got this last one, which I actually didn't trim yet, but it's the same thing. It's got a crack in it too, but it only goes down, I would guess, an inch or so. Hopefully these won't dry more and crack anymore. If they do, they might end up being shorter than they are now. But and you know what, let me pause this, let me get a tape measure and see how long these actually are, because I can't remember. Okay, I'm back. Got the tape measure. Let's just give it a quick measurement here. And okay, these ones here are 20 inches. So, and these are the smallest ones I got. So even if, heck, even if it would crack an inch and a half or so on each end down, we're still going to be okay. We can still get a pretty good size handle. I didn't realize these were 20 inches long. So actually then, my other log right here, okay, it's a 22-inch log, and our bigger one here is, depending on where you measure, 26 inches. I thought I had a 27-inch one. It's probably the other side of the log is 27 inches long. So I don't think these were cut exactly square. But anyways, so we know we're going to get some 20-inch handles. We know we can get some 12-inch handles, maybe some 16-inch handles, 18-inch handles, you know, anywhere in that range. So that's a good thing. Yeah, I could probably get at least, hopefully, a 24-inch handle out of some of these, which would be nice. So, you know, and it's ash, and it is strong wood, but I don't think it is quite as strong as hickory. So for hatchet handles and 20-inch handles and all that stuff, this is fine. This will work good. So I'll go ahead and split this down right here, and then so out of that one piece we'll end up with 4 billets. Ain't bad, you know, for a free piece of wood. 4 billets and a half a night's firewood is the way I see it. So I'm going to keep warm for a half a night, and I'm going to have 4 axe handles out of the deal. And that's not including these 2 other ones that we're going to split up. So I'm going to splice this part into the video somewhere. So anyways, I just want to say, in case I don't splice it, I might just stick it in the end too. Thank you, and like, share, and subscribe. If you want to, check out my website too. It's primitivehunter.net. I got all kinds of projects on there. So anyways, thank you. little knot in there, but that'll be going by the time we're done.